American Natividad outside of the Oshawa courthouse where 22-year-old Dafonte Miller took to the stand for the third and final time today. The alleged victim of a brutal beating by an off-duty cop and his brother underwent 3.5 hours of intense cross-examination. Arriving at court this morning, Dafonte appeared calm and focused. Michael Terrio, a Toronto police officer who was off duty at the time of the alleged incident, and his brother Christian Terrio are both charged with aggravated assault and obstruction of justice. On December 28, 2016, Miller alleges the two brothers ran him down and viciously beat him with a metal pipe for no apparent reason. The beating was so severe it caused Miller's left eye to explode in its socket. It later had to be surgically removed. The Terrio brothers, in statements to investigators, said they thought Miller and his friend were stealing from their father's truck, that they feared for their lives, and that it was actually Miller who was wielding the pipe. Under cross-examination, Michael Terrio's defense attorney, Michael Lacey, continued to pick apart minute details of previous statements made by Miller. The defense attorney then zeroed in on the verbal exchange that took place during the alleged assault. He pressed Miller on what he heard and said as the altercation took place, and what he might have heard as the Terrios spoke to a 911 operator. Miller replied, quote, "I can't recall exactly what was said 3 years ago." Later in the day, Lacey played Miller this portion of the 911 call.
You've called in 2 separate times on 2 different phones?
Yes, he started calling the police. We're on top of him. You're the wrong person, bro. We'll see you. Please get the police here in an ambulance now.
It was the only time an otherwise focused and sharp Miller appeared to give an emotional reaction, saying, quote, "I hate hearing that." Lacey replied that he didn't mean to make him feel uncomfortable. Miller later said, "By the time that 911 call was made, my eye was out." In an odd turn, towards the end of cross-examination, Lacey presented this video from an incident where police were called back in May of 2018 in an effort to attack Miller's credibility. It appears to show Miller getting into a verbal argument with the store clerk. Lacey asked whether Miller pointed his finger in a threatening, gun-like fashion at the store clerk from the window after he left. Miller denied doing so. He was then showed the video, and Miller said he did point his fingers like a gun, but it was because he was having a conversation with his friend about another matter, and it wasn't directed at the store clerk at all. Now, the Crown has wrapped up their case. It is now the defense. The defense may actually call witnesses when the trial resumes, and it will resume on Tuesday at 9:30.